So I'm 28 years old and I am a qualified personal trainer and nutritional and health coach. But at the end of my degree, fitness became my outlet. It was my method of kind of reducing stress and just getting away from the deadlines and the worry of where post college was going to take me. Along with that, Instagram started to grow as I was sharing my own story. So at the time, that would have been my physical transformation, my kind of lifestyle improvements, my health changes, which I thought was all very positive, and I'm sure we'll touch on it. And then I also, over the last few years, went and got a nutritional and health coach certificate because I realized the whole balance, nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, was more so where people were struggling than just physical transformations. I was always really active as a child, so I grew up in the countryside on a stable yard. My dad was a racehorse trainer, so my childhood was like, you know, in the trees, cutting out like little hideouts in the bushes, jumping around on the hay bales and dancing. Dancing was a huge part of my childhood. Not that I was any good, not that I still am, but I do love it. So that would have been like stage school. So I was always quite active. Never that sporty, but active. So then I guess as you reach a certain age, stage school isn't really like acceptable to continue going to when you're like 20, 21. So that's when I started to move over to fitness a little bit. Probably subconsciously missed an element of movement in my life because obviously when you move, when you exercise, you get that feel good feeling. And I guess I was missing that and naturally just gravitated back towards movement of some kind. If it's new to you or you've been out of kind of the fitness scene or exercise for some time and you hear people like myself going on about how fun it is and how you can find methods that you love doing, that all sounds very attractive. But it's taken me a long time to come to this place with movement and my relationship with fitness and food, that it is so fun and enjoyable. And I think for anyone starting off on that journey, realize that it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for a time, but it has to get uncomfortable before it gets comfortable. So it's like, you know, we talk about the idea of comfort zones. I love the idea of comfort zones. I was talking about them kind of metaphorically. But if you're in your small circle of where you feel comfortable and you want to try new methods of exercise and find out what it is that you truly enjoy, you're probably going to come across some that you don't enjoy and that make you feel uncomfortable, and that isn't going to change. But you're going to come across some that you will start to enjoy, and you've got to give them more than one shot to get to that point with it. It's definitely extremely scary doing these things on your own. For example, like I've gone to do some hikes on my own or going to new classes on my own, even taking myself out for brunch on my own. It's always that like a little bit frightening, leaving, being like, oh, are people gonna look at me and think, is she crazy? Does she have no friends? And once you see it through, that's when you get that self-confidence kick. That's when you feel so empowered. And that's probably because it's not something that people often do. Like doing things on your own is hard, but the more you do it, the more self-confidence you build, and the more kind of, I think, self-love you kind of build, because you've given yourself the opportunity to grow. Anytime you do something on your own that scares you, it's probably a sign that you should do it. Attitude and mindset can completely change a person. It can completely change your path, your goals, your aspirations. I heard probably on a TikTok recently, because I spend way too much time there, but I think we may have all heard this before, like if a flower doesn't bloom, you don't blame the flower, you blame its environment. And if you think of that in terms of attitude and mindset, if you have the wrong mindset and the wrong attitude, or you feel like you can't develop the mindset and attitude that you want or that you see someone else has, and you're like, why am I as driven as her, or as outgoing? Stop blaming yourself, because it may not be your fault, but it's the environment you're surrounded by. Maybe you're surrounding yourself with the wrong people. You know, they say you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I suppose my journey with body image has been a really complicated one. So when I started social media, my Instagram was purely my own fitness journey, which was purely about physical change. So body image completely took over my mindset, my mental health, my life. It went down the body dysmorphia route. I would potentially put that a little bit down to how I treated social media at the time, but also the fitness industry and the pressures that were there as a personal trainer. Your body was your asset, your business, your potential way to get in clients. If they saw your body and believed that that was something you could help them achieve, then you think that's going to get you more business. But it was never about health. It was always about your body. And because my followers were growing as a result of these pictures that went viral, which was probably easier done at the time, I nearly felt it was my duty to then continue to inspire and motivate these people who are now following me for the physical transformation.
Yeah.
And I just went deeper and deeper and deeper down that route, and I eventually got diagnosed with an eating disorder. And I've looked into it more since. So it's called like OSFED, Other Specified Feeding and Eating Disorders, which is just like a group. I think it's the majority of eating disorders, which is the mental health disorder with the highest mortality and morbidity rate. But you just tick some boxes and you don't tick others. So I was obsessed with fitness, I was obsessed with food, I was training way too much, I lost my cycle, I was struggling with body dysmorphia. Now, I will say, and I always say, it's something I'll always be kind of aware of. And there's always going to be triggers, like any sort of obsession that you've ever had or addiction that you've ever had. There's little triggers, but you know, you have more tools in your toolbox now to kind of put things back together and, you know, put up that kind of bulletproof shield around you. And I have never been enjoying life as much as I am these days because I've worked through it all. And for anyone who is struggling with body image, know that there is so much more to life out the other side. You can get through those struggles, but you just are not meant to do it alone. So whether that means following accounts that help you, it means seeing a counsellor that helps you, it means telling a friend, your family, you just have to seek support to get through any struggle in life, but particularly body image. And God, know that there is so much more to you than just your body. All of the advice, I guess, that I try to give now, you know, me saying that vulnerability is strength, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, surrounding your social media self with the type of person you want to become, stepping out of your comfort zone. I had to do all of that, and all of that was uncomfortable. And that is exactly how I have reframed my journey and who I am. I went and I got, you know, mental health counselling recently. That's not something we should be like afraid to talk about. And even saying that, I'm a bit like, oh, like the taboo is still there. But I think just learning to own my story has helped me reframe it. And the more that I own it, the more that I'm able to like really take back the steering wheel of my own life. My morning and evenings, there's always kind of like staples that I like to keep there. Whatever happens in between can change, but I don't like to rush in the morning. I used to be like, get up, get to the gym, quick as you can, get the workout in before you do anything else. But I like to allocate a little bit extra time so that I can get up, drink a glass of water first thing. I drink my Zest Active, my daily super supplement. Definitely keeps my immune system and energy strong and supported. I soak up the daylight. So I love to like just stand there in the morning, whether it is a dull day or a bright day, literally just let my eyeballs soak up the daylight and then move on to coffee. That brings me to life. And then I slowly start to dive into my day and my to-do list. So I like to really take my time, and I have, you know, like the head plan, I might journal a little bit, plan out my day. That's something I like to keep there in terms of a daily routine. I feel like my morning routine is really important. And then my kind of evening, nighttime routine, if there's not kind of a lot going on, definitely try to get nature at some point in the day, be that 15 to 20 minutes or be that like an hour-long walk with a friend or my mom. Joint active, I often take in the evening. So it's really important that with the amount of training I do, I look after like my bones, my cartilage, my connective tissues. So take that in the evening. And then moving like a little bit more before bed, try and limit screen time, have my nighttime tea. Not that I have a daily routine per se, but there's aspects of my day that I try to keep routine, and that would be the two. Start small and start differently. So like, yes, you know, I'm really into movement and exercise in the outdoors, but I wasn't always as into the outdoors or movement in the way I am now. There was a time period there, particularly during the lockdowns, during the first one, where I trained far less, and it finally allowed me to slow down, but I had to, because I had to get my period back, my menstrual cycle, because I had hypothalamic amenorrhea for years. Very, very difficult diagnosis, I guess, to recover from when you love training and you love movement. But that allowed me to completely reframe my relationship with fitness and movement and find forms that I enjoy more. And had I not have allowed myself that time off, I probably wouldn't have came into it with this kind of different, fun, feeling and mindset. Now I still love the gym and I love my weights, but if I don't get outdoors for a few days or get in like a little hike or walk or swim, I'll start to feel like agitated. So I think for anyone that's coming back into it, allow yourself time to trial different methods of movement more than once. You know, if you've never been to a gym, it can be daunting, it can be scary. You can walk in once, get the fear, leave and never come back. Give the gym or give the hike or give the sea swim, give the cycle more than one go, because you will grow to love a form of movement, but just allow yourself that time to find it.